Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to tell you several reasons, give you several clear pieces of evidence that narcissists are demonically attached or that they have demonic influence in their lives. There's always been debate about this, but I don't think there should be. I shouldn't even say debate as much as you have the psychological community that it's totally fine. They look for reasons and ways to explain narcissism and other things, and they label them as personality disorders. And they'll go through and talk about the details of how this plays out in a psychological way. But at the core of everything, as I've said for a long time, narcissism is a spiritual disorder. It's a spiritual corruption. It's not just reducible to scientific explanation, to psychological explanation, although, of course, the things are overlapped. They overlap. But I'm going to tell you several reasons why I know in my heart that there are demonic entities attached to narcissists, that they run off Satan's program, that they're just like him in so many ways. And it's really obvious to see if you've really been through it and you have a spiritual lens, then you can see it clear as crystal. So, number one reason, this is in no order of importance necessarily, but I'm saving my favorite one for last, the most powerful one, I think. First is narcissists run on a script or a cycle. This is what distinguishes a narcissist from a bad person. And I've talked about this before on other videos. People who don't get it and they haven't been through it and they didn't get the knowledge or some combination of these things, it's easy to say, well, you just dealt with a bad person. Well, yeah, this person was hard to deal with. Yeah, he was a jerk. She was a jerk. Yeah, you make all these things up. But what they don't understand is that the narcissist runs on a specific playbook, and that's what makes them a narcissist. They do the same thing over and over and over. And this proves it in the demonic attachment in two ways. The first is, how can they all do exactly the same things? It doesn't matter if it's male, female, young, old, where they live, where you meet them, what, geographically, ethnically, none of this stuff matters. Narcissists all do exactly the same things, like a scripted playbook. They will all come on really, really strong and love bomb you, and it probably includes mirroring and spitting back at you what you want to see. They'll make it sound so great. It's the best thing since sliced bread. You're pinching yourself because the relationship's just so good and it moves so fast. And it seems like it's everything you ever wanted. And that's how they butter you up. And the minute they think they have you, you got engaged or something, then they start to devalue you. They slip into this cycle where usually they pull way back out of nowhere, or some small little thing sets them off and you see a side of them you never saw before and you're scratching your head. And then it's that wishy-washy pattern. The deval is not all negative all the time. The deval is where they get you in that wishy-washy pattern. It's high, it's low, it's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad, but it becomes more bad all the time. So good, 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 bad, good, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, 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 good, bad, 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 bad. And you get the point. It's like a python that squeezes you, and they slowly just get you in this state where you're like, where am I? What is going on? Who is this person? What are they going to be like today? And then when all of that runs its course, however long, there's a discard. They'll get rid of you for any number of reasons, or you'll get rid of them because you just can't stand it anymore. And then a lot of times, not always, especially today, they'll try you again and they'll circle back around very soon after or a long time after. It can be years after. And this is the cycle, the pattern. So the fact that they all do the same thing over and over, it proves, because again, how can they all do the same thing? That speaks to a higher level. That's not some sort of mental problem. That's not some sort of psychological problem. They behave a certain way because they had trauma. And even though trauma is related to it, that could manifest in so many different ways. Why do they all do the identical thing? That's only explainable spiritually. But it proves it, like I said, in two ways. They all do it, but the fact that they continue to do it, meaning they're just like a wind up toy that just it gets wound up and it just goes and does stuff over and over. They never learn. They do this repetitious cycle almost like it's a program. And it doesn't work and it's to the next. And it doesn't work and it doesn't work and it doesn't work. And they just keep doing it, expecting that it's going to be different. That is something beyond a person's control. That is something that only can be justified spiritually. How can they just continue to think the next thing is better and it'll work and it doesn't, and then it doesn't, and it doesn't, and it doesn't? But they keep trying, they keep doing it, they keep thinking it's going to be different every single time. Purely spiritual. So their repetitious cycle and their specific pattern tells you it's demonic. Another thing that does, very simple, they're just extremely mean-spirited. I remember telling the narcissist that numerous times. You are so mean-spirited. Man, you're mean. You're just cruel. And again, it's not all the time because they got to keep you in that cycle. But they can say and do the most wicked things you couldn't dream up of doing to somebody. I'm saying if you and I, any of us, sat back and thought, what is the worst thing I can do to somebody to really affect them in the most negative way humanly possible? We couldn't come up with the stuff they do routinely. Being wicked and evil, it just flows out of them so naturally. They don't even, and yes, they do plot and they scheme. I've said that before. But a lot of the stuff they do is just second nature. They don't even have to sit back and think for, all night long or for days on end. What can I do to this person? What can I really do to get them? No, it's just effortless for them. They just do it on the spot. They can triangulate you like it's just nothing. The silent treatment stuff, like it's nothing. They can end a relationship after you've been with them for 5 years and 2 seconds later they're with somebody else. Like it's just not like you never even existed. That's not natural. That shows they have no ability to truly care, to truly love. They will find every way they can to spite you. They'll try to get you fired after things end. They'll try to get you to unalive yourself after things end, and they won't think twice about it. They'll get you in as much trouble as humanly imaginable. And again, they're so dark that they don't have to sit back and think of all these ways to do it. It's just easy for them. Plus, they've done it for years and years and years. It's just all right here. They say the cruelest things. They do the cruelest things. You couldn't begin to make up the stuff that they do. Your jaw is left on the floor sometimes by how effortless and how wicked it really is. I could list things all day, but they might prop open a door while you're taking a shower so that other people in the house might go by and then say you are trying to be a pervert and let everyone see you. But it's easy for them. They didn't even have to think about it. They just saw the opportunity. They're in the shower. That easy. So that is the kind of stuff that only truly demonically attached people do. Another thing is how self-destructive they are. If you are any semblance of a decent human being, you are not self-sabotaging. You're not going to do what is ultimately the worst things for yourself imaginable. They do. They will lose the best jobs, the best living situations, the best romantic relationships, relationships with their kids. They will lose every good thing they ever have because they're self sabotaging. That's not something a healthy person does. That's something somebody does who's demonically attached, who has a force or forces surrounding them, working through them, that wants their demise. See, that's the dirty little secret. The devil wants to destroy, he wants to kill, steal, destroy. But you know what else he wants to do? He wants to destroy the people who come to destroy. There's no favoritism, or there's no joy, there's no love, there's no connection. The devil doesn't have his favorites that he takes care of. He doesn't care about anybody. The narcissist doesn't care about anybody unless they're useful to them. The devil only cares about people who are useful to him, and he'll throw them overboard the second that they're not. So will the narcissist. So they're not only trying to sabotage everyone around them, but their behaviors ultimately sabotage themselves. When they are not there for their kids, they put them on the back burner. Their kids grow up to usually see that, and they want nothing to do with them. They just hurt themselves. When they blow up things with the best romantic relationships they've ever had, they just hurts them. They had a great person who would have broken their backs, and they destroyed it. And they would do it every single time. Doesn't matter how good you are. So if you thought for a second you could have changed things, or what if I was better? What if I was more attractive? What if I had a better home or more money, or I did this, or I said that, or throw it all out. They would have destroyed it no matter what. Trust me. They are self-sabotaging. That's a self-sabotaging spirit. That's demonic. When you don't even want the best for yourself, that's demonic. And the thing is, they're so delusional that the bad decisions they make, they believe are the best thing for them. They will leave somebody who's amazing, destroy their lives, discard them, and go with somebody who's rotten and corrupt for a season because they think that was the best thing for them. And then when that blows up, or they get destroyed in that situation, it did nothing but sabotage their own life. So they're so warped that even the decisions they deem to be good are the worst thing for them. That is confusion. That is delusion. That's not thinking clearly. They do what is in their worst interest and think it's in their best interest. And I've heard that actually many times, but you'll hear things like this from them. I don't trust myself to make good decisions. I don't make good decisions. No crap. That is the sign of a demonically attached person. Another indication. Narcissists are extremely robotic and almost hollow, meaning there's no depth of personality. There's nothing really there that's deep. They're like a collection of all the little things they've put together and taken from other individuals. They're a little bit of this person from the past, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. They've got some of them. But they're very, very hollow. There's nothing deep. There's no deep conversations. There's no depth to them at all. And they they move almost robotically. It's like they just do stuff. They just make decisions. I'll do this. I'll break up with them. I'll get with them. Now I like him. Now I'm going to do this. And it's like they operate with blinders on to everything else around them all the time. They're so self-centered, so fundamentally selfish and robotic that they almost appear, nay, I say are, controlled. They just do stuff like they're out of control of themselves. But it's because something else is in control of them. It's demonic. And you know what I'm talking. If you've been through it, you know what I'm saying. If you haven't been through it, it's so difficult to understand. They just do things willy-nilly, in the spur of a moment, on a flash. They can change everything about their lives, just boom, and just go right on, like it was a programmed act. They're just out of control. There's no rationale. There's no wisdom. There's nothing like that. They just do stuff. And like I said, most of the time it is a self-sabotaging act, even though they think it's a good thing. So, what else do we have? The narcissist knows things that they shouldn't know. I've talked about this many times. They will text you or call you or say something or come back at an opportune time or leave at an opportune time when they had no earthly way of knowing what was going on. I've received texts from narcissists about things I was talking about with other people just that moment. They will come when you're at your most vulnerable, oftentimes, when you're very, very low and vulnerable, or you're lonely, or it's just an opportune time. Well, how would anyone know to come at an opportune time? Because they're directed by beings of higher power. That's why. Those beings in the heavenly realm are true adversaries. Those beings see all this stuff or experience what's going on. They relay it to the narcissist. They send them into our lives at very critical times. That's beyond their knowing. That's beyond their control. They'll dump you, break up with you, discard at a very key time when you just couldn't stand to have something else happen. And then when you recover and you just start to get on the right track, they know, here they come. Not every time, but honestly, it's usual. There were numerous times where I felt myself break the trauma bond with a narcissist, where I knew in that moment, finally, I'm done. I'm moving on. That person's, it's finished. That night or within a day or two, I get a message from the narcissist. That happened repeatedly. That is that's something energetic that's going on there. And they know it and they feel it. You can feel that energetic exchange from a great distance. And so can they, obviously. It's almost like they knew, oh, and he just moved on. They just found somebody else. How do they know it? There's many times there's no way they could, but they do. Last one for this video, and I could name a lot of others. They live for control. That might sound basic and simple. Every single thing the narcissist ever does, consciously or subconsciously, is about, at least as it pertains to others, it is about obtaining power and control over them. Narcissists will leave you if they know you can't be controlled. What is it? People ask, what is the one thing the narcissist wants in a person they select? What's the one thing if you could boil it down? Yes, they think there's something in it for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. That can be financial. That can be sexual. That can be many, many different things. But even those issues don't matter if you can't be manipulated and controlled. That's why they will feel you out very early on to see how much do you care. Will you double text me? Will you continue to pursue me if I'm playing hard to get? What if I throw a wrench into the relationship and I throw a fit over something small and pull away? Will you come chase me? What if I told you things about myself that should be kind of off-putting? Will you still continue to want to be with me? They do all those tests early on because they want to know this person wants me bad. They really, really want to be with me. Because if you don't acquiesce to this behavior, if you don't chase them, pursue them, put up with some of this nonsense that happens very kind of early, if you don't put up with a little triangulation, some jabby comments, a little pull away action, some discussion about exes. If you won't do that stuff, then they know you're a person with boundaries, probably very high boundaries. And if they can't get over on you, they're done. They require being able to control and manipulate other people. If they can't do that, they just won't deal with you and they'll find others that they can control. What a narcissist really wants is the impossible that doesn't exist. They want the highest value person they can possibly find that offers them the absolute most in every way imaginable, whom they can also completely dominate. People that offer a lot usually can't just be thoroughly dominated, at least not for long. So they kind of want the impossible. But that is now the point of this is that is a telltale sign of darkness. When you pull back the curtain and you get to the bottom of everything, it's not even money, it's not supply, it's not a one up, a better off situation. The thing at the end of the day that is the most evil thing that the most wicked entities want, the devil, demons, narcissists, it is to have control over other human beings. There's nothing more dark and evil than having control. Only evil people want control over others. I don't want a thing to do with controlling someone's life. Most of you, I'm sure, don't either. That does nothing for me. That makes me sick to think that I'm dictating and controlling like a puppet, that I'm manipulating and I'm. No, no, no. Dark people want to do that. Demonically attached people want to do that. So, for these reasons and many others, I didn't even go into the fact that they fight God, they despise God, even if they claim to be Christians, they claim to be Bible followers, whatever it is, they actually despise God, but they do that to make themselves feel better, to convince you, to fake you out, to fool the world. But they don't know the Lord. There's no such thing as a Christian narcissist, not a genuine. But the fact is, these things prove to me it's not just psychological. It manifests psychologically, it manifests physically, but it is a spiritual corruption at its root. It is brought about by demonic forces in the spiritual realms that we can't see. Some of them are straight possessed. Most of them are attached, meaning they have dark influences in their lives. They feed them information. They guide them in false paths. They get them to self-sabotage. They do all these things, and they certainly put them on that repetitious cycle I talked about. All of this shows a spiritual corruption, a very dark person. They are demonically attached, and I think it's provable. So, guys, hope you enjoyed this. There's a lot of these people running around today. A lot of these people running around today, more than there ever has been, and it's getting worse. So just be aware, protect yourselves. So guys, hope you enjoyed this. I'll come at you with another one soon. Until then, God bless.